Okay, so we are doing Haomer. We count Sefirat Haomer. Yes, please. We count Sefirat Haomer. From right after Pesach, right after we were taking it out of Mitzrayim, we count Sefirat Haomer to Shavuot. Why is that, Mr. Elishmani? Why do we count Sefirat Haomer?
Well, you know, we're training for the 49th day to come
And we are waiting for the 49th day to come
and get on what we
were promised.
That's right.
From the minute Hashem talks to Moshe by the bush, that's even before Moshe comes to Mitzrayim. You'll come, I'll give you Torah. You'll come, I'll save you, I'll give you Torah. I'll save you, I'll give you Torah. They are pumped up from the beginning. Moshe tells them, Hashem will take us out, He'll give us the Torah, He'll give us the Torah. This is the pinnacle. This is the height of human history. The most important event in human history was Matan Torah. And they were promised it again and again. You'll see, you'll get it, you'll get it. So you could imagine how a person feels then. They can't wait. They count.
Anticipation.
The anticipation, they start counting. That's the Sefirat Haomer. There is one problem with this now. What's the problem?
They count up.
They count up. You heard this from me? You heard this from me?
No.
They count up. See, if you anticipate, then you always count down. That's human nature. I want to go to vacation, let's say half deal. Oh, 2 weeks to vacation. A week and a half, 9 days, 7 days, 6 days, 4 days. You count down. 1 more day and we go to vacation. You don't count up. 1 day of Haomer, 2nd day of Haomer, 3rd. You don't count up. If everything we said is true, so then why doesn't the mitzvah correlate to this idea? Now, Rav Shimshon Pincus has a very insightful essay, and he gives the following mashal. He says, picture in your mind, whatever. I'll give a mashal. You could put in any mashal that works with you. So picture in your mind, right, that somebody owns a big shopping mall, a very wealthy person. He comes and tells you, you know what, in 50 days, I'm going to gift you this shopping mall. It's worth $10 million. It's worth $10 million, and in 50 days, I'll give it to you. So what is the person going to say? In 49 days, in 48 days. He's going to count down, right? He can't wait. In 10 more days, he's going to give it to me. In 9 more days, he's going to give it to me. So what if, he says to the guy, next 50 days, you come to my office. And as the issues are arisen every day in managing this mall, I'll see how you do. You seem to know what you're doing. For every day that you do a good job, I will gift you 2% of the LLC. So he goes the first day and he comes home. Right? What is he going to say? Right? 1 day, I got $200,000. The next day he does a good job. He says, 2 days, I got $400,000. 3 days. He doesn't count down anymore. He counts up. See, and here is the beauty of it. It's still a gift. You didn't pay for it. It really is giving you a gift. You do not have to pay for it. But the point is, even a gift could have a little bit of participation. It could, you have to merit it. So that's also a payment. It's a form of payment. I had to pay with my effort. Now, it's a gift because the effort does not correlate to what you received. The effort is, he could have paid you, what? $30 an hour. You worked there, you ran the thing. It's a gift. It's as much as gift as anything else. But a gift that you sort of acquired, it wasn't just given to you. You proved yourself. You had to work for. You invested in, that's the correct word. Then you are very cognizant, you're very aware of your own effort. This is what the pasuk says, Ma'aseh yadai lehitpa'er. Something, you work for it, you enjoy it. So then you're not going to look at, the empty days that I have left to get this thing. No! Look at what I accomplished. The $200,000 that you accomplished the first day is so much more real to you than the $9,800,000 you haven't yet. You focus on that, and that helps you to go and get the rest.
Parallel with that, is they were in the 49 stage of Tumah.
And they had to come up.
They got to come up. So it said, I passed number 25.
That's right. So that tells us an unbelievable idea during these 49 days. That's why, always Gedolim tell us during these 49 days is a time, especially of learning Torah, but in any area, it's a time of growth. We don't count Sefirat because we count Sefirat. We count Sefirat to tell us, look, you count up. So move up. Stand up and count up. It's very, very interesting. We have a halacha that Birkat HaMisvot, you say standing up. Birkat Hana, you say sitting down usually. Did you know that? You say Borei Peri Ha'es, you sit down. That's the correct halacha. But when you make a bracha on a mitzvah, right, you have to stand up.
But Shema, we don't say that too.
Because Kirat Shema is a whole machloket if it's Birkat Hana, Birkat Mitzvot. But Shema itself is not a question. But, Shemoneh Esrei, Talit, Lulav. Where do we learn that from? That Birkat Mitzvot should be standing up? From Sefirat Haomer. It's unbelievable. Me'achel chermesh bakama. He has to be bekoma. He has to be standing up. So now this is the source. This is the binyan ab for all the mitzvot. From here, from mitzvah of Sefirat Haomer, we see that shofar has to be standing up, lulav has to be standing up, Megillah has to be standing up, talit has to be standing up, etc. Isn't that something? Torah could have chosen the example to be anywhere, but if Hashem tells us the halacha here, that means this is the most potent place that it could be said. Stand up and move up. Sefirat Haomer. You count up. You move up. And that's a very, very important lesson. To know that which I invest, that's what matters. That is what matters. And there's an unbelievable Peleus. Peleus says, everybody has 3 zones in their spiritual self. Are you familiar with this Peleus? The 3 zones of a spiritual self? There are 3 zones of a spiritual self. There are those areas that one has fully mastered. There are those areas that one has fully mastered. There are those areas that one could aspire to, but is not there yet. It's not in the realm of reality by him yet. Right? For us sitting in this room, we have mastered the art, if you will, of eating kosher, going to a kosher restaurant. As much as one may pass by, I don't know, a McDonald's and the fries and the burger smells good, and for a second I may think, wow, what a delicious smell. But there is no real struggle within us. It's a very, very tiny struggle to go and eat that. So that's what you have mastered, says Peleus. So yes, you pass by that McDonald's and you master that tiny, tiny challenge, there's Olam Haba. And even if it's not a challenge, every time you eat kosher, you get Olam Haba for it. And then there is, I'm talking about myself here, to aspire the level of Hatmada, the level of time usage that Rabbi Ovadia Yosef had. Right? Where every minute is counted. So it's certainly inspiring, and one could aspire to, and one could get rewarded for aspiring to, but I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm not gonna, to wake up and tell myself, today, I want to make sure that I do not waste, I do not get distracted, I do not, even 5 minutes. I'll be lucky if I say even 2 hours. To have that level, to have a cheshbon on every minute. I'm not about Yosef. So as much as, yes, that's also part of my spiritual self. It is not non-existent, it's true, I have to be aware of it. But it's a very small part of it. Says Pele Yosef, everybody, their main olam haba, their main spiritual self is those items that they struggle with. 6 out of 10 days they may not do a good job, 4 out of 10 days they do a good job. That is where you get your olam haba. He says your olam haba in the world to come is created of those. You should know that. That which you struggle, that which you find difficult, that, I tried so hard today not to say Lashon Hara, I succeeded, but yesterday I didn't succeed. That is the lion's share of your olam haba. Isn't that unbelievable? The effort is what matters. That's the lesson of stand up and count up. What you master, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, those things that we master, we do it. And that's wonderful. And, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives to the last iota of sachar he gives. But realize that, we shouldn't chas v'shalom, be unhappy of our challenges in life. Because that's what it is. Now, I made this copy for you. Right? This is from a book by Dr. Mark Seligman. He's a psychologist. And now, Rav Shlomo Goldberg recommended this book to me, and I recommend it to everyone. The name of the book is The Optimistic Child. It is about how to raise children so they are resilient, how to raise children that are resilient and could fight off an anxiety and depression. It is an unbelievable book. And in what way that for them it's revolutionary. For the secular world, all the ideas were revolutionary. What they thought of, he proved differently. The ideas, they all correlate with Torah. Now, I don't want to go into all the ideas of this book. That could be another thing in itself. But I will say one thing. He says this is different in all other child-rearing books, that every single thing he's written here is all based on research. It's very easy to write a book and say, you do this, you do that, you act to them like this, you talk to them. He put his things on 25 years of research. He researched kids from the age they were 2 till they were about 30. 25,000 kids. He followed them for 2 before he wrote this book. And he followed the practices of their parents and how they talked to them, and they treated it. Unbelievable. It is an amazing, amazing book. And that research led him to believe that some of the accepted norm within the American secular society should be changed, should be different. But again, that's not my point right now. My point in this book, he explains state of flow. Anybody has heard of a state of flow? It's a psychological term. State of flow. I'm going to read the footnote first. Footnote number 4 down there. The study of flow is the most exciting development in the psychology of positive effect in recent years. The notion of flow moves us beyond the increasingly vocacious categories of happiness, well-being, and joy, and self-esteem. Any student of good life and how to get a should read flow. Okay. It is. He calls it the most exciting thing they have come upon recently regarding well-being and happiness. Well-being. So, state of flow. What is a state of flow? State of flow, they have been researching it past 20 to 30 years, what they call state of flow. They do not have yet much to say in definitive terms. There's this book about it. But what is a state of flow? State of flow is a state where he writes over here, time stops. You feel at home. you feel content, serene, and you are happy. But not, a little bit deeper happy, a serenity. That's a state of flow, right? State of flow is when you do feel truly at home, wanting to be nowhere else. And by everybody, it could be different. Playing touch ball, listening to this, speaking at a group, painting, writing a letter to the... By everybody, it's different. But the point is that state of flow is that state which everybody feels truly at home, and I don't want it to stop. It is a very positive feeling. So they did a lot of research. What causes it? What could bring it about? All that. And they don't have much answers. They're still doing research. But one thing, the common denominator in all state of flow, all of them, by all different people is different. You know what is the common denominator? The common denominator is a state of flow. We achieve it when we do something that we find somewhat challenging. Listen to its words. Flow occurs when your skills are used to their utmost, matched against a challenge that is barely within your grasp. That's a state of flow. You get that type of happiness from really tackling something that is barely within your grasp. I'm going to give you an example that comes to my mind. Then I just want to read the last line here. Right? You see these kids, and by the way, all these game companies, they have really top-notch psychologists on their payroll, and they use these things. These video games, these kids cannot put it down. If they design a game that is easy for kids, that of 10 games they win 10, the kid will not play on it more than 10 to 12 minutes. They get bored of it, and they win every game. They put it aside. And if of 20 games you win one, after again half hour or so, they get so frustrated, they put it away. What are the games they could never put down? It was of 10 games, they win 3 or 4. It is constantly a challenge to what? To elevate your level of success. It's barely within your grasp. Of 10, you're only successful 30% to 40% of the times. That is when they feel so stimulated. So I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that's a state of flow, but that is what he says. He says, too challenging that I find powerless against. So it is not a happy feeling for a person. But too easy, that's what the research showed. That the culture tells us take it easy and be on vacation. That doesn't work. It brings people to depression. That's what the book is about. And I'm going to read the last line, the conclusion of this paragraph. The cushioning of frustration, the premature elevation of an anxiety, and learning to avoid the highest challenges all impede flow. A life without an anxiety, frustration, competition, and challenge is not the good life. It is a life devoid of flow. So now, look how deep is that Peleus that I shared with you a few minutes ago. Peleus says that is our Olam Haba. Peleus taught us our Olam Haba is that which we find in his words at the just barely within our grasp. That's where we get our Olam Haba. So isn't Hashem so loving to us? That which allows us Olam Haba, he gives us the most pleasure. The state of flow you get from that which gives you the most Olam Haba. Isn't that unbelievable? Hashem has created us such, our psyche such, that even our psyche, if you're attuned enough to it, tells us, pulls us, directs us towards that which I should be working on. That Peleus says, that is the bulk, the main stay, the lion's share of my Olam Haba. That is what creates the state of flow. Is that amazing? I mean, it's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable. Truly, the best of both worlds is not an expression, it's a reality. Is that unbelievable? That is the lesson of Sefirat Haomer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. See, in our analogy, the second person also got a gift. But he put in what was his effort. For each of us, our effort might be different. But you put that effort, so now you count up. You say, today is the 15th of Omer. I counted up. I have 15 steps that I took. And if one truly works such that he could look at that, he could stand up and count and say, I have 15 things to count. That's how I feel. You stand up, you move up, you count up. Okay.
Thumbs up.